Joining you on our YouTube channel here very shortly. But hey, guys, we're back racing again after we just did a really good night last week. What a huge night that was. I mean, that was a race I wanted to get in. Super late models. What an awesome night. What an awesome crowd. What great races. Probably to me, I ain't gonna say worst race. They were all good, but the late model race went green, white checker. I like seeing some yellows to bunch the field up, but unfortunately we didn't get that. But Justin Zeitner started on the pole and kind of walked away with it.
Yeah, I was gonna say he stunk up the show a little bit, but that'll happen when he's pretty dominant here when he shows up, and when you start him on the pole like that, it's going to be hard to beat him. But the battle for second was really good. At one point, it was a 3-car battle for second, so that was pretty entertaining.
Welcome on YouTube. Sorry we were like 30 seconds late. I had to get my computer was being just a touch slow. So, but yeah, what Cole was saying, the late model race for sure. When I saw Justin Zeitner start on the pole, I was just like, well, here we go again. So
I think he's won 3 of the last 4 SLMR.
He has. Yeah. He won both shows last year, and he won obviously last weekend. And he didn't win the first night because Bill Layton Jr. won that. But speaking of Bill Layton Jr., that heat race that he was in, oh my God, he went to the back, spun out all on his own, went clear to the back, and won it from the back. So it was a incredible heat race. But I would say the heat races last weekend for the late models were probably some of the best heat races, late model heat races I think I've ever seen here.
Yeah, it was fast action. I mean, what was good? Those guys were hauling it up high, but Bill was down low, and there's other guys that won't be able to go down low. They were hauling.
Yeah,
it was ridiculous, honestly, because we always said, you got to have some sort of a shelf up there for them to bang it off of, because a lot of times, especially with racetracks that don't have a wall, it's very difficult to get a cushion up there. So the track prep crew, Logan, did a really good job of making sure they had a cushion. He was a little disappointed in the feature because the cushion wasn't as big as he wanted it to. The top wasn't as much as there as it was during the heat races. That's why he did go and farm the top. But I think he was just a little disappointed on that. But the track was still really good. I mean, it wasn't rough. I know a lot of late model drivers, they prefer smooth over fast and rough. So we made sure we had that for them. But again, race fans, it's always awesome to have late models back. I don't see a world where we don't have 3 shows next year as well. Joe Koziski, new Hall of Fame member here as well. He said last week, we are one of the original tracks for the SLMR series, and they will always be here as long as the series is going. So I don't see a world where we don't have 3 shows, and I wish we could have more.
Yeah, I've talked to some other guys last week. When you look at our crowds, our crowd likes late model racing. As you can tell, and it's something where we've kind of also shown the specials. We had our wingless sprint. To me, it kind of puts it right on the wall where we need to have a special once a month, kind of what we need to try to work on doing. So, are there other late model series out there? Sure there is. Can we do them? That's stuff we have to work on. It's also a huge monetary issue, when you're trying to get those bigger series, but it's just something I think we can work out. And I think our race fans are willing to pay for the ticket price we'd have to have for that too. I mean, like I said, I'm a huge fan of late model racing, always have been, and I hate to get rid of them weekly, but it just financially can't work with what they need for purses, and it just doesn't work, unfortunately. So, but the specials sure do, and I think it really shows it. But that's something we'll figure out for next year, and just look forward to seeing what the schedule is for next year on that. So,
I know Cole and I are big late model fans. We like to travel a little bit. I wish we could travel more, but
yeah,
we would love to see Lucas Oil or World of Outlaws down here. That's for sure.
Jonathan Davenport would love for Lucas Oil to come here.
I know.
He loves those big half miles.
I'm a little bit more biased towards Lucas Oil because they're more local. They typically run more local racetracks. World of Outlaws kind of goes all over the place. So, and Lucas Oil typically runs the bigger racetracks too. World of Outlaws kind of runs a little bit more bull ring stuff, and the with the Lucas Oil headquarters being down there in Wheatland, it's not too far away from here either. So It's definitely something that's on the horizon. I think we're really going to start pushing for it here in the next couple of years. Again, it's going to take a sponsor or two, that's for sure. We can't just do it on our own. It's going to take some company or some business or somebody to step up in a big way and support us, because I know Jay Burdick's on board with Dirt Track Bank. I know he's always talked about helping us, but we can't just rely on Jay only, because that's not fair to Jay. We have to rely on other people, and prime examples. I mean, Silver Dollar Nationals out at I-80. Imperial Tile was their main sponsor. Joe always had 4 or 5 big time sponsors out there, big city sponsors, because he was right there by the city. He always had those sponsors in his back pocket to help him just in case something were to happen, and to help him support a bigger purse. Because, like we know, Cole, if you want a Lucas Oil race, that's fine. But if you want to get guys who don't run Lucas Oil weekly, get those outlaw guys to cross-platform and come over to the Lucas Series and run, or vice versa, you're going to have to pay more.
Yeah, I was going to say, I a while back, I can't remember how many years it was ago now, but I mean, like Scott Bloomquist kind of said in an interview, he won't show up unless it pays $20,000 or more. And now with the current state of dirt late models, I mean, those guys are probably not going to show up unless it's $50K. So it's just a tough thing to deal with,
What's incredible to me is I was watching the PDC last week at Fairbury. I don't know if I didn't even tell you this, Dad, but they had a $500 per lap for lap money.
Oh boy.
$500 per lap, and it was a 100-lap feature.
Oh boy.
So every single lap a driver led, it was $500 in their pocket. And it goes to show that they had, almost 70 late models there? That's what it takes to get that kind of car count. And every single big name late model driver, that's what it takes, is you got to put up a lot of money. And I was just amazed at the PDC of what they were doing for lap money, because that was incredible. I mean, what was it? Ryan Gustin led the first 2 laps and he made $1,000. Yeah. I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah. No, and I mean, that's a special occasion too, obviously.
Right.
PDC is kind of a crown jewel race, but you're not really going to see that if it's just a Lucas Oil Tour date, like a regular date. But no, that's a cool event too. Did you see they had their 50-50 they drew? You got paired with a driver.
Oh, I saw that. Yep.
If your driver won, you got $50K.
That's similar to what we'll be doing tonight here. I mean, it's very similar, because our 50-50, we have 2 King and Hills, we have the B mods, we have the.
So do we have to have 16 people tonight?
No, we'll only do one class.
It won't quite be $50K.
No,
but
yeah. So,
well, we're hoping for like $500.
We better say that.
But we will be doing that again. We'll probably. I'm not sure if we'll do the B mods or the Biorefining Modifieds. Which one class we'll pick to match up the drivers with, but probably be the B mods.
$50K in our.
If we tell people it's $50K, this stands will be.
Oh, geez, yeah.
Might have a few angry faces.
Come to the track and buy a 50-50.
Yeah.
So I mean, what you still need to do.
So
it will be.
You think we're going to do modifieds then, or
probably
what?
B mods. I'm going to guess B mods.
Yeah,
so
I would say
consistent class. And
I agree.
They've been a great class all year.
So we're gonna draw 8 names.
Yep.
I wasn't here the first night.
Yep.
Draw 8 names, pair them up.
Yep, pair them with the
okay.
fans.
Are we gonna have the drivers down here during intermission?
We will. Yep, we will.
Okay.
So they'll pair them up.
Did you have to do that?
Yeah, I did. I had to interview.
Oh, I'm sure there was some.
The problem is I interviewed them about the King of the Hill before we got all the fans down there. So then once they drew their name, I didn't know what to ask them. I was like, well,
it's hard to get them. It's hard to get them to talk. So
yeah, we'll definitely going to be doing that. Also, just regular racing tonight for all you fans thinking about what you're doing tonight. No weather in our area. We looked at the forecast. Nothing's supposed to come in until way late, if even then.
So it's like
11 or later.
We are gonna keep things moving the best we can, obviously, just in case.
There's no weather in our area. Northern Iowa definitely getting rained up in Sioux City, Sioux Falls area. Park Jefferson's already canceled up there. So yeah, everything else we're racing. So don't hesitate to come out to races tonight. Things are winding down fast. If I calculate right, we have 4 weeks left.
Yep.
So it's crunch time. Next week starts some busy stuff again with CHI box cars, and then follow that up with on the 19th for Trucker Night. So
I know I got to thinking we're going to get Adam Hensel up here on the show tonight. I messaged him just because he's the point leader. I got to thinking that we need to start talking to some more point leaders right now because it's getting down to it. I mean, we only have 4 nights left, and the guys that are in the point lead right now are definitely running for a points championship. Right now, our points leaders right now, I know off the top of my head, John Berg in the compacts, Adam Hensel in the hobby stocks. That one's going to come down to probably the last race. Him and Luke Ramsey are gonna battle it out. That's a pretty tight one.
Every class has 3 cars in it.
Yep,
much.
Jesse Ennis right now in our modifieds. Our B mods right now, it's Sean Krolick. And then our stock cars is Brad Derry, and he just took the lead over Brock Badger a couple weeks ago by just a mere margin. So it's not like some years where we have one guy that's completely just blowing it out of the water.
Yeah.
Every single class this year is pretty close. So between now and the end of the year, I definitely want to start talking to some more points leaders for sure. Not just feature winners, but points leaders. I know Tanner Dixon will not be here tonight. His girlfriend had surgery again this week, so they will not be here tonight. He wanted to be on the show, picking up his first career win, but he won't be here tonight.
Here.
Right. Yes, first career win here.
Yeah,
because he has several out at I-80. So,
track champion out there.
Yep, he was a track champion out there. But I know Evan Davis is going to be on the show. I told him to be here tonight. He said no problem. Other guys, I think Jesse Dennis is going to be here about 6 o'clock. I just want to start talking to some more points leaders.
Yeah, and also you YouTubers, if you're on there, I haven't got the comments on yet or not, but don't hesitate to go up there and get your comments in there. And we love having some comments we can respond to. Maybe you guys can...
Kind of like I did the night that I was gone.
Maybe you can think of some drivers.
Yeah.
Maybe we need to try to invite up here.
I was
I'd like
thinking
to
about
see some new drivers that get up here. You can put that on your
if you want us to talk to a driver, comment.
I was about to ban you for spamming the chat. Good Lord.
So so that's something to do too. Don't hesitate to get on our YouTube channel and do some comments and give us some suggestions. We love to hear that. So get this technology in use here, boys. I'm getting with it.
Yep.
Although my old computer don't like to sometimes.
Well, you cracked your
my oldie bit reliable. It's
the old dinosaur
the old
this week. The old screen cracked this week.
It's kind of hard to see with all those shattered spider webs all over. It's kind of hard to see through.
And the problem is he has so much on that computer. I mean, his desktop.
My old reliable.
There's not one open spot. He's got document. I mean, it's just everything.
It's reliable. I got a lot of icons on there now. That's my racetrack computer too. So I've got it all saved and backed up. So on some thumb drives. So we're good to go. So I've got a new one at home. I just don't ever use it that much. So
coming up next week too, we got. I'm going to go over to the Knoxville 360 Nationals is tonight. My girlfriend and I are going to go to the State Fair on Friday, but Thursday night I think we're going to go to Knoxville and check it out. So love Knoxville over there, race fans. If you ever have a chance to get over there, it is just incredible the amount of people that show up for that race and the facility over there. And you have to get the spicy chicken bites.
Oh yeah, they're. I don't go to Knoxville without getting the spicy chicken bites.
Colt showed me them and they are unreal.
Yeah.
So good. So a lot of big races coming up all throughout the area, really. But if you're a race fan, this is a good time of year, that's for sure, because it's getting down to it here at the Speedway for points, and then specials coming up at the end of the year and at different racetracks. So it's a good time to be a race fan.
Yeah, I was looking at my schedule, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I got championship night here, and a week after that, the tradition. And then a week after the tradition, we go to the Cup race at Kansas. And then the week after that, we go to Knoxville for the late model nationals. So I'm like, I don't know if I'm ever going to be able to financially recover from this. But, that's why I'm not going to Knoxville with you, because I need to save up a little bit of money before this stretch of races hits.
That's the thing. Then they do. The specials
You'll
really
change
stack
your
up
mind.
this time of year. I'll tell you what. Let's go ahead and take a quick break. Make sure all my technology here is up to par and we're ready to go. I think we're good to go. But I tell you what, race fans, we're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back with you on Pitside Live.
Subscribe to the KCSI Radio YouTube channel today. Interviews, parades, events, contests, and more. Subscribe to KCSI Radio on YouTube and get notified every time something fun happens.
What if we could harness the power of the sun by using the earth to transform the way we use energy? Water furnace geothermal systems are simply the most efficient way to keep your family comfortable. Winter or summer, day or night, rain or shine, without burning fossil fuels. Giving you the freedom to focus on life.
Call Camlin Mechanical or visit CamlinMechanical.com for your water furnace needs today.
Even if it's been years since you graduated, your college team is your team for life. Well, you can have a Farm Bureau agent for life, and auto, and home, and business insurance. Imagine that. One insurance agent for everything. It's that simple. So get a Farm Bureau agent for life.
Contact Farm Bureau agent Elizabeth Davison in Clarinda and Shenandoah at 712-621-2878 for all your insurance and financial needs.
Farm Bureau Life Insurance Company, Farm Bureau Property and Casualty.
Are you interested in starting a career instead of just getting another job? Well, hop on over to Fresco System USA and let us help you find the one for you. We offer competitive wages, benefits starting day one, and so much more. You can pick up an application at 2026 Fernwood Avenue, find us on Indeed, Better Team, and Facebook, or call 712-623-8100, extension 6659. Spring into action and join the Fresco team today.
No matter what your insulation needs are, Heartland Foam Insulators is your go-to company. From removal to blow-in to foam, they are ready to go to work for you in any type of building, whether it be an existing house, new construction, a metal building, commercial building, or a unique project. Call Heartland Foam Insulators today at 712-623-4515 or heartlandfoam.com.
Since 1892, Malvern Bank has been building community from 404 Main Street in Malvern, Iowa. For generations, Malvern Bank has been serving local businesses, families, and farms to help them achieve their goals in every step of their lives. From saving for college to planning for retirement and everything in between, Malvern Bank is your full-service community bank, here to help as you plan for the next chapter of your life. Call, click, or stop in today to apply for an account, loan, or credit card. Malvern Bank, we build community. Member FDIC, equal.
Welcome back, race fans, to Pitside Live. Once again, thank you to Malvern Bank. Jay Burdick, such a great sponsor of Adams County Speedway. Really can't do a lot of things without him. Really thank him. Farm Bureau, both Farm Bureaus we deal with is great sponsors of the racetrack and KCSI Radio. I can't thank them enough, as well as all of our sponsors we have here on Pitside Live. Tell you what, guys, we kind of mentioned a little bit about last week, but in general, we can talk about all the races. We've mentioned a little bit about the SLMR, but once again, all of our classes, great races once again. I tell you what, race of the night to me, hobby stocks.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's just the way it's been all season, really. I mean,
we literally say it every week.
Yeah. No, I mean, there was people leaving after the late models, and we were getting over the mic. We're like, I don't know where you guys are going because you're going to miss probably the best race of the night. And
they
sure
did.
Enough,
I want to be like, you paid $20 to get in, race fans, and you're gonna get you're gonna get your $20 worth watching these hobby stocks. So it was incredible.
Because I tell you what, that was a fun. Those last few laps, the whole race was awesome. Those last few laps was like, oh my word! When you got three cars, passing each other there, that was so awesome. That was just great racing. No matter what you say, the fans were loving that. They were up and cheering for that stuff. So it was great.
I mean, when I think back in the day when I was a kid, you know, sometimes that's what you have to do to win, you know. Sometimes you got to use your door a little bit and just, you know, go with it, because you know what? Sometimes you're the guy that gets doored, you know, throughout the race. So it's just like, you know, all the sayings with modified drivers, you know, slide or be slid. So it's the same thing in a hobby stock, really. So Cody Werner did a really good job of getting up through the field. Got up there with a couple to go, got out to the lead. Tanner got underneath him into one. They made some contact. Tanner got out to the lead, and then Tom Myers did like a little dive bomb off of 2 down the backstretch. Tom took the lead into 3, and he just went in a little too hot because he slid up the racetrack. Tanner cut back down and got him out of 4. So there was 3 lead changes in 1 lap.
Yeah, it was.
The white flag lap. There was 3 lead changes. You can't get much better than that.
Yeah. It was exciting racing, you know, and hats off to Tanner Dixon getting his first win here at Adams County Speedway.
It's been a long time coming for him.
You know,
so,
like I said, I always love to see guys get their first win, no matter who you are. I'm a fan of everybody here, so I root for all of you, but I always love to see the guy get their first win, as we did in the B Modifieds. The only thing about the B Modifieds, it was a little long there. We had a few yellows in it, but that happens sometimes. But it was still great racing. Evan was up there the whole race, dominating. The only thing I have to chuckle about that race is coming up on a lap car, going into the tree, and I was saying to myself, don't go high on him, Evan, don't go high on him. And boom, he got taken out. But then I had some guys in another booth up here, hey, how come you got his spot back? Well, because the yellow came out late, because guy was in turn 4 screaming because we had a car on the wall way before that incident even happened. So, and it's a black car, we couldn't even see it up here. It's a bad angle.
It's very hard to see that.
Turn 4 official was yelling, and we're like, well, where is he? We don't see him. And he hit the wall pretty hard up there. The black modified, it's hard to see, and that just happened. But that's why we have officials in every corner. So, but it turned out to be a good thing for Evan. And, but he dominated that race. I mean, he deserved to win that thing. So
I was going to say, he got out front early and built a pretty big gap. And I think the only guy that might have had something for him was Kevin Zeitner, but Zeitner looped it on his own and got some contact from another car that hit him, and that kind of knocked him out of the race. So
I was thinking about that the other night. I was like, you know what would have happened if the 60 car would have been up there?
Yeah, I mean, they were running pretty similar lap times. I think Zeitner was going just a hair faster. He was, if I remember right, he was running right through the center of the track, and Evan was running down low. But yeah, after Zeitner dropped out, there just really wasn't anybody that could contend with Evan. So it was good to see. You know, I'm friends with him, so I've seen like how hard they've worked over the years. You know, you remember when he first started racing down here, he had an old car and
like an old E-mod.
Yep, he was just down here getting laps, having fun with it. And you know, I think it was a couple of years ago they got that car, and he showed a lot of speed in it. So it was good to see him finally get that first win.
Yeah, he's a prime example, folks, of someone getting their feet wet, like you said, starting out, just getting some lap time, learning how to drive, having fun, and how they built their program up, and that's why he's so deserving of a win, you know, because he's been knocking on the doorstep of that thing for several times now.
Well, him and Tanner started around the exact same time. I think Tanner maybe started like a year or 2 earlier, but they both started about the exact same time, and they both started the same way, in, you know, old kind of just, you know, beater cars, and was not the best equipment at all. They started off. Evan started off in an old E-mod, and Tanner started off in a home built. We called her Black Beauty. It was home built. I mean, the frame was like Swiss cheese. I mean, it was pretty much a POS. So, but he just wanted to try it out and kind of fell in love with it. And now look where they're at. I mean, that just shows that they both have a lot of talent, and they both got their first win last week, which was really, really fun to watch, especially in front of this crowd. Hats off to all the race fans that came out last week. Oh my God, the crowd was incredible. It was such a good crowd, especially for, you know, how hot it was, and it was just a really good crowd. They just come out for late models, man. It's just, I don't know what I got to say, but it was just really, really good night. And like my dad said, it's always really fun. I don't care who it is. It's always really fun seeing somebody get their first win, because not only is the interview cool, but usually the fans really love it because the fans get tired of seeing the same people win every week. And that doesn't matter what track you go to. Yeah. The fans do get tired of seeing the same people win every week. So,
and not a first-time win, but it really was the first time this year, and that was in our Northland Stock Car class. Jason Rold showed up. Jason's been a long-time racer here, off and on with us when he can. Great ambassador of Adams County Speedway, loves supporting us here when he can. So, but it was good to see Jason get his win. I also noticed, I think he showed me a picture, he's looking at getting a new wrap for that car too. So, but I tell you what, Jason's always had a nice ride, and he does a great job here when he comes and he can. So, very happy to see him get a win this year too. So, yeah, he's got a picture up on his phone right now of it. So, good looking car. So, good to see Jason win.
Yeah, he ran well, and he's been running a part-time schedule this year. I mean, he's running against guys that have been running every weekend. So, I think that's another thing that kind of gets overlooked is it's tough to miss a bunch of nights and just hop in with these guys that have been racing all year. And so, yeah, he did really well.
And then finally we haven't talked to compacts yet too, but our bio refining modifieds, we had a couple of new guys show up there for the big money. I think it was $1,222 to win if I remember right. But Jesse Dennis came away with the win, but I tell you what, it wasn't he didn't blow anybody away because the last lap, Ryan Jenkins was right on his tail.
Yeah,
so.
No, it was kind of crazy to watch. We thought with 8 to go, we were like, Jesse's got it in the bag. And we started looking at lap times, and, you could see it visually that Jenkins was closing in very quick. And I wasn't sure if he was going to be able to get there. And, with 2 to go, he got right on that left rear quarter and was challenging for it. And unfortunately, just bad timing. They ran into a lap car, and Allison Davison didn't do anything wrong. She held her line and did what she was supposed to do as a lap car. It's just one of those things where it was just wrong place at the wrong time, and there's nothing you can really do about it. But either way, it was still one heck of a finish.
The other thing in that class we haven't really talked about during the night was Jason Hopscheid showed up, and he just Jacob Hopscheid. He just had tough luck on it. I don't know if it was
he was having ignition issues.
Brand new car.
So he's tough. He's a tough customer, and it's bad when he can't finish. So it's an issue there.
It was a long night for that team for sure. But hats off to Underdog Design for all they did for all that Dre did. I'm looking at these trophies, and what Dre does to the back of this trophy. He puts the results on there, the heat race winners, and then he writes a little spiel of what happened during the feature and writes it on there. This is the back of the trophy. So the front of the trophy just says, champion, but the back of the trophy, Dre puts on there his logo, the finishing results of the feature, and then a little write-up of what happened. So I would say it's got to be one of the coolest trophies I think I've ever seen. It's a great idea of what he's doing. And his goal is to make this race bigger and bigger every year. Like he said, though, he doesn't want to overshadow the late models. That's for sure. But I don't think he can because late models will always take precedence because it's always going to be big money. But he does want to increase the purse next year, and he wants to keep increasing it every year. So whether it's get another sponsor on board to help him or whether it's get some more contingency stuff going on, he wants to see a full field of modifieds for that show. That's for sure. And I think that's kind of the first goal that he wants is to get a full field and then get some B features in there and just have a really good modified show. And again, once you pay more to start, everything like that, people will start recognizing that, and more drivers will want to come down.
And then lastly, our Floating Vine compacts. Can't thank the Floating Vine people here in Corning, the old winery, enough for being a sponsor of the compact class. But the thing that stands out to me on that race is that competition and that field of cars is getting tighter and tighter every week. So there's, we had 16, and there's 10 easy that could win that thing.
I'll tell you what, race fans, I was thinking about this last night, and if you want to watch a good compact show, I've watched a lot of compacts at a lot of racetracks, and I know I'm biased, but our compacts at this half-mile racetrack, they look like real race cars because they're actually getting up to speed. They're making moves like a real race car. A lot of times, Cole and I talk about it all the time. You get on a small racetrack, where do the compacts like to run?
Yeah, they go right around the bottom.
Right around the bottom because they don't have enough horsepower.
Yeah.
So
that's the thing, it's a great field of cars. We probably need to take another break, but when we come back, we'll start doing some results from these things and give you updates on the points. We'll start doing that when we come back. Before we get our first guest up here, we'll start doing that when we come back. But let's go ahead and take another quick break and get this set up to do some results and points and our next guest. So we're right back with you on Pitside Live.
Furniture, appliances, mattress sets, lift chairs, bedding, recliners, and more. S&S Appliance, your hometown furniture store in Clarinda, just received a large shipment of appliances. They have a huge selection of stoves, refrigerators, chest freezers, and microwaves. And if you need a mattress set, they have them, plus bamboo sheet sets. They offer full service from start to finish with competitive price guarantee. S&S Appliance also offers delivery and installation. Stop by S&S Appliance on the square in downtown Clarinda.
This is Josh with Shore Motor Company in Clarinda. We want to be your GM dealer. We have highly qualified and trained technicians ready to work on your vehicle. Anything from recalls to warranty work and beyond, we are your GM dealer. Our service department is open 6 days a week for all your service needs. We even have an express lane for those no appointment quick oil changes. Visit our website at shoremotor.com to request an appointment or give Mike or Amanda a call at 712-542-6581. We are your GM dealer. Shore Motor Company, just south of the square in beautiful Clarinda.
Just as your local State Farm agent teams combine good neighbor service with surprisingly great rates, you can combine your home and auto. And guess what you get? That's right, good neighbor service with surprisingly great rates. This is your local State Farm agent, Dave Carball, and we promise to deliver the service you deserve at the price you want. My State Farm team will help you mix and match things perfectly. Call us today at 712-623-5639 for your surprisingly great rates. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Too busy at work to wait in a long line at Subway? Order online at order.subway.com. Simply register with your email and password and order away. You can also download the Subway app on your smartphone. Order up to 6 subs, salads, or pizza. Ready in 15 minutes once order is submitted. Also add chips, cookies, and drinks easily. And Subway's back to normal hours, Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 11 p.m., Saturday, 8 a.m. to 11 p.m., and Sunday, 9 a.m. to 10 p.m. Order online at Subway in Red Oak, Clarinda, Shenandoah.
Since 1892, Malvern Bank has been building community from 404 Main Street in Malvern, Iowa. For generations, Malvern Bank has been serving local businesses, families, and farms to help them achieve their goals in every step of their lives. From saving for college to planning for retirement and everything in between, Malvern Bank is your full-service community bank, here to help as you plan for the next chapter of your life. Call, click, or stop in today to apply for an account, loan, or credit card. Malvern Bank, we build community. Member FDIC, equal.
Welcome back, race fans. The Pit Side live here at Adams County Speedway in Corning. I think we did get our mics switched here.
Yeah, here we'll just
switch it back.
Great radio.
All right, we did the old the truffle shuffle here of the old of the old mics here. But welcome back to Pit Side Live. Big thanks to all our sponsors. Can't do it without them. This radio show is greatly appreciated by our sponsors. The ones on YouTube and the ones on the radio. So we thank and appreciate all of you guys for the support. So this next guest to my right, we talked about it a little bit earlier with our B-Mod race about how he did pick up his first career win, but it's the driver of the 78 Victory chassis. Out of right here in Corning, Iowa, it's Evan Davis, and you're on the show because of a win.
Yeah, it's better than just, hey, you want to be on the show this week?
So, I guess, take me through the last lap. I just gotta pick your brain a little bit here.
1 and 2 wasn't bad. 1 and 2 I knew I could get. It was going into 3 and 4. There was a hole right in the center of 3 and 4, and I just kept thinking, don't go too early, don't hit the hole. Don't hit the hole. And then I ended up woeing way up in the middle of 3 and 4, but it worked out. We still got the win, so that was all right.
And you said down the front stretch, you were like screaming at the
I
top.
didn't stop screaming until I high-fived Jesse back in 3 and 4 coming to the scale. So,
and you wear that head sock thing. I don't understand how you wear that. That thing's got to be hot.
The funny thing is, I've tried not wearing it. Like, I've forgotten my contacts and worn glasses and not worn it. I can't stand the dirt hitting my neck now, so I have to wear it now. So,
well,
you're good.
You got to turn me up here. There we go.
You got to get closer to their face.
Yeah.
There you go. There we go. You're good.
I tell you what, man, that race, you got out front. I mean, you started on the front row, but you got out front and you were setting a blistering pace. I don't even know if I'm sure you do now when you went back and watched the video, but in the car, I'm sure at the time you didn't realize how far you were gapping those guys. We talked about it a little bit ago. We thought maybe Kevin Zeitner was the only guy that maybe had something for you, but then he looped it. So after that, it was just kind of your show. And I mean, what was that like up front? Were you just waiting for somebody to come flying around the outside, or what? Or did you kind of understand the gap you had?
No, I had no idea what kind of gap I had. I just wasn't thinking about it. You know, I knew I had a pretty solid line, and the car was running really well. And mostly I was just thinking about, oh, man, another caution. And then...
Oh, God.
And then another restart.
That's the way it is every year and every week in your class. So what's the big difference?
I was at the front this time.
Yeah.
But no, just trying to hit that right line off of 3 and 4 on the restarts and maintain a good line, not give anything up to anybody was the biggest thing I was worrying about.
Yeah.
The main thing that impressed me was when you are up front executing each and every restart, and your restarts were just, your car was good in the right spots, because off of corner number 4 on those restarts, you were gapping 4 or 5 car lengths down the every single. I mean, you were going into one and you were already 5 car lengths ahead of everybody. I don't think it would have mattered even if you would have had a bad restart. You just had so much drive.
Yeah, we thought the track was honestly going to be a lot slicker than it was. I liked the farming right before the B mains ended up making a really racy 2-lane track, so it was a little more hooked up than we were expecting, but it worked out. The car was running really good on it.
Well, so your chassis, we talked about what you started off with. Your grandpa bought you that car. It was just like an old E-Mod type thing, wasn't it? I mean, it was just...
Yeah, the first one was a 2007 Kaziski car.
Right, and it was just, something to get your feet wet. And I was just surprised, with how well you kind of kicked it off. I know I'm always nervous to see new drivers, especially young, because you were young. So I mean, you were still in high school.
I was 15.
Yeah, I mean, you were in high school. So, but you really started off, really strong, and you never were the type of guy that brought out cautions and things like that. Like you see some of these guys, that really just can't get it figured out. And I think a lot of that takes precedence with car setup and knowing what you're doing, right?
Yeah, and I mean, not that we knew what we were doing when we started, but I've talked to some of the newer guys in the class, and I told them I did the same exact thing when I started. I mean, my first 2 races I didn't finish, so there's definitely a learning curve, and as you go on, then you start consistently finishing features, and then you start consistently running better, and then eventually you get where we're at now, which is pretty awesome.
Exactly, and you're good friends with Cole, and I consider you a friend too as well, and you're kind of one of these young guys that will always be around here. But these fans, Cole, when he crossed the start-finish line, you didn't realize it, but because you're in the car, but I'll bet you there was at least 1,000 people standing up. I mean, it was crazy.
That's awesome.
It was because a lot of these fans know that you're from here, and you're a young guy, and you've never won before, and fans love to see that kind of stuff. And I wish you could have been able to see what this crowd did, because it was incredible. You were probably on cloud 9 down there when I was interviewing you, but that was probably one of the biggest roars I've ever heard when you got out of the car.
No, I mean, I could hear the crowd up in the booth with the door shut, and it's not very often you can do that. So, yeah, it was a big reaction. So it was cool to see. But I kind of wanted to circle back, through the race. I mean, honestly, it was a pretty uneventful race, which I'm sure you liked.
Yeah, I was okay. Other than one thing.
Yeah,
for me,
that's where I was getting to. So you come up on a lap car. The way that I saw it, I think maybe the lap car was trying to do the right thing, but that's kind of why we tell lap cars to hold your line, because stuff like that can happen. But after you get back on the track and you realize you're getting your spot back, how do you, did you have to do a mental reset? Because I'm sure you had to be pretty fired up in the car.
Yeah, and honestly, I kind of knew when I crossed him on the backstretch that it might be a bad idea, and then about 3/4 down, I knew it was a bad idea, and so I started braking, and I think that's how I ended up not just T-boning him.
My dad was up here saying earlier, my dad's like, Evan, don't go high, don't go high, don't go high.
No, it wasn't all his fault. I could have waited and went under him into 3. I thought I could drag race him, honestly.
Not to go off subject here, but take a look at turn 2 on the tractor. Our brand new wheel packer, race fans.
This thing looks nice.
We have a wheel packer. Big thanks to Josh Miller right here in Corning, Iowa, making us a brand new wheel packer. I'll tell you what, race fans, it's been a long time since we've had a legitimate wheel packer.
Can we get a sprint car wing for it?
Well, the goal is at the end of this year, early part of next year, we're going to paint it, and Dre's going to make a little bit of a wrap for it. So that's kind of the idea. But Josh was like, "Do you guys want to paint it right now?" I'm like, "Don't worry about painting it right now. And everything else down here ain't looking the best." So, but I know Logan's going to be appreciating that wheel packer tonight, because we're going to need it, because it's I know underneath the surface, track's going to be a little different tonight. So from a race car driver standpoint, what are you thinking tonight? It's going to be, I mean, we had 2 inches of rain here in Corning, so.
I haven't been out to look at it at all. I got out of the pickup and came straight up the stairs here. I was sitting on my couch at 5:25, so.
But it's got to feel good, though, Evan. I mean, just finally, I'm sure you were probably thinking to yourself, I think you told me last week, like, you didn't think, is it ever going to happen?
You start to wonder, after I had that second place and lost one in about 3 to go to Daniel, I wasn't sure. You start to second guess yourself. You've got a good car and you run good, and you've ran here before and ran good, but it just starts to creep up in the back of your mind. Are you ever going to get it done? So
well, I think
it's really nice to get it.
I think a lot of it is, Evan, is Cole and I talk about it too. It's just the chips have to fall in your favor.
Yep.
I mean, sometimes a caution comes out when you don't need it. Your right rear tire's starting to go away. Sometimes on a restart, whether it's you don't get a good enough restart, or you do have a big lead and the caution comes out, and then that car in second was coming or whatever. But Cole and I talked about it before you guys came up here. Kevin Zeitner, what would have happened if Kevin wasn't out of the race because he was faster than you at the start of the race.
Yeah. I mean, it was close. You know, I was looking at lap times. He was maybe, like, sometimes you guys would run like a identical lap time, and then he'd go a tenth quicker. But you come to expect that.
Right, but
Kevin Zeitner. But
my point is like that went in your favor, right?
Yeah.
That's just another driver. You know, the chips fell where they may, and finally you got it done. And it's got to be just a big confidence booster, I'm sure, because now you don't got nothing to worry about. Just go out there and drive now.
Exactly. I've heard that too. I've always heard the first one's the hardest one.
Oh yeah,
so.
because just from the mental standpoint, like you said, you know, you're constantly second guessing yourself. You're extra nervous. I feel it in iRacing too. I mean, I'm playing on iRacing on a flipping PC, and I get nervous.
Yeah,
and I'm
nerved
just,
up a little bit. Yeah,
I couldn't imagine being in real life. So, take me through the last like 4 or 5 laps on that last restart when you knew you really had a shot. Did the mind just start clicking into overdrive? Was the hands just like kryptonite death grip or what?
No, it wasn't bad. After that last caution and that deal going off the track, I had Jesse down in 4 looking at it, and he didn't look, you know, he wasn't worried about it or nothing. He was just watching me go by, so I gave him a thumbs up. And then on the backstretch, my dad had 2 big thumbs up off the guardrail that the car was okay. So once I knew the car was fine, I wasn't worried about it, and it was just get back to it, hit your same thing I was thinking all night, hit the same line, and don't give anything up to anybody.
Well, you mentioned your dad on the back straightaway. You know, as long as you had to wait for this win, I mean, what did it mean to you to win with that wrap? Because I know that has a lot of meaning behind it.
Oh, it meant a lot. It was awesome. I'm so glad it happened with that car. And watching the Dirt Crown video, the blue and orange right in front of the victory light, that is awesome. And we went back and actually someone on YouTube has one of his old races from it was a 4th of July race here back in '91, and they've got his heat race in it, and it's pretty awesome to see that car, and then ours, and just him and my grandpa in general, and all the crew guys, all the guys that help. It means a lot to everyone. We've been doing this an awful long time, and it was nice to finally, you know, do it for them. I was glad my grandparents both got to be here to see it, so that was awesome.
And you did it in front of a packed house, we say. I mean, never going to be a packed house again, but a packed house for a good crowd. Definitely a good night to do it as well. I mean, extra money was on the line.
Yeah, it was a good night to get the first one. I will agree with you on that. I got to thank, was it Always Race Day that sponsored that? That was awesome to get that extra money.
Yep, so big thanks to all those sponsors that helped out that I mentioned last week. But speaking of sponsors, Evan, I'm sure you got maybe some sponsors to thank, some family to thank, and then we'll get you on your way, and you probably got some work to do tonight. So
yeah, at least unload it. I don't know, my trailer's not here yet, so Dad might still be napping. But yeah, I've got some pretty good sponsors that help out quite a bit. I've got Allison Show Pigs, CJ Goodman Show Feeds, Diamond M Welding, Lund Farms, Reclaimed Waste Clothing Company. I'm trying to just go down the car. I'm trying to remember the car. Poston Farms, 6S Trucking, Finn Trucking, Southwest Bat Removal, and Don's Body Shop in Lenox.
Southwest Bat Removal, like literally like
bats. Yeah, they go in and like if you got a bat problem, they'll come in and go through the attic and take them out.
Instead of the Victory Chassis entry, it's going to be the Southwest Bat Removal entry 78.
That works for me, man. I'll put a big old bat on it.
They need to sponsor a Halloween wrap.
Yeah, that would be,
or like a Batman wrap. That'd be cool.
But no, that's a guy I work with. He does that in the summers, so he came on this year.
I wonder how he does it. Does he like take a tennis racket and start whacking them?
I don't know. I'll have to ask him at work this week. But
Southwest Bat Removal. That's awesome.
probably a little more humane.
Yeah.
Well, see, I've heard
some regulations.
I've heard some funny sponsors, but that's one of the top ones. Southwest Bat Removal.
Well, it's something you don't think about, dude. But there's time when I was a kid, we walked into our house and somehow a bat got into our house. We're like,
hey,
I don't know.
What do you do?
Just call Southwest Bat Removal.
Look them up on Google.
Wish they were around.
He's going to get a kick out of that.
Yeah.
You have to tell him to go watch this if he isn't listening. So that's awesome, man. Well, we'll get you on your way. I'm sure you got some work to do once the car gets here. But, yeah, you got one more. Sorry.
I got one. Dessert First Treat Shop. I guess I better put Mom's in there.
There you go.
Mad, so.
There you go.
So that's the last one, I think.
Well, Evan, it was a long time coming, and I'm just really happy that you got it. And I know you're a good fan of Hunter Poston. His time's coming too.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, he has been just as fast, if not faster, than you all year long.
Yeah.
So,
and that's just the chips falling.
Right, exactly.
He's had a
So-
really good car all
Yep.
year.
So, but he hasn't been racing as long as you have, and it's just we're ready to roll now. So
I'm looking forward to when it's you and him battling for a win. I can't wait for that. See the
it's
two,
gonna be
the two crazy.
He's gonna be
eights
grinning
up
from
there.
ear to ear. So, do you want to go to a break, or do you want to just? All right. So we're gonna go to a quick break, then we're gonna come back here on Pitside Live.
Just as your local State Farm agent teams combine good neighbor service with surprisingly great rates, you can combine your home and auto. And guess what you get? That's right, good neighbor service with surprisingly great rates. This is your local State Farm agent, Dave Carball, and we promise to deliver the service you deserve at the price you want. My State Farm team will help you mix and match things perfectly. Call us today at 712-623-5639 for your surprisingly great rates. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Welcome back, race fans, to Pitside live here at Adams County Speedway, as well as our YouTube channel, KCSI's YouTube channel. You can pull up KCSI's YouTube and see us at Pitside Live, and I do mean see us. So, tell you what, we're going to have, right now we got our next guest, Jason Roll, last week's Poet Biorefining. No, that's Modifieds. I got to get the Northland Oil stock cars. It's like, I'm out of the groove here. I got up and took out a break for a minute. So, welcome, Jason. Good win for you last week.
Yeah, it's been a while. We aren't running near as much as we used to. My kids are in ball, and we've got a lot of other things going on with the family. So, still love to race. Kids love coming, So we still have the car, and we still dig it out once in a while. But
I see he's got his Vikings hat on over there.
Yeah, he plays baseball up in Avoca. So
old HSTW.
That's right. Yep,
So
a lot of ball this summer, and we were here. Wrecked the first night, but that was double feature night, so I think we had like 5 total laps in before last weekend for the year. So it's nice to get some laps and finish a race, and it helps to start up front, but you still got to stay there. And I didn't really want to see that caution towards the end there, but we still were able to pull it off. So kind of a tricky track, fun one, a couple grooves, a lot of great races last week. The kids wanted to go watch the late model race, which ran right after us. So we're trying to get through tech. It's like, Dad, come on, we got to go. We want to watch these guys race. So, and it was a good one. I know it went wire to wire, but there was still 2 and 3 wide racing throughout the field, and really all the races last week were that way. So
yeah,
a lot of good stuff, and a good track last week.
Yeah, because
so.
I mean, like you said, you were up front, but I tell you what, there's a couple hot shoes right behind you, and that yellow, you showed that you could hold them off. So that showed me right there that you were the.
I was nervous for you. I was like, man,
you're the man to beat. So.
Jason, you were running the bottom, and you just had so much drive, especially off of 2. And I was just like, man, that car is just like, I just can't believe the amount of momentum, because the top was there, and typically here at Corning, when the top is there, it's very hard to keep your line around the bottom, and you just had so much drive, man. It was just incredible.
Yeah, the track was similar to the way it used to be 10 years ago last week, quite honestly. And, we could run the top back then, but we could also run the bottom, and you had to hit the mark, right? Yeah. There was a thin strip that you had to hit, which I think when you interviewed me after the race, I said it was pretty technical and tricky, and that was it, right? So if you hit it, you could mash the gas. But if you didn't hit it,
you're spinning
the tires, and either way you had to kind of feather it off. And we tried a few different things on the car last week, which worked. So got a lot of good people that help us with the technical side of things. And I think we found something last week. So I'm anxious to get back out there tonight and see what it's like. So
I know family's a big thing, and it keeps you busy, with all other sports, but. Any itch over there across the room here?
Well, I both boys I think are interested in racing. I don't know whether I'll get one or both or neither in the seat, but maybe at some point they want want to hop lap my car, but I've got to get Jess, my wife on board with that first. So
and you got to get a seat that fits too.
Well, that's true. I'm a little bigger than both of them. So my oldest is now as tall as me, but I'm a little wider than him. So he would need a different seat too.
You can put an insert in there or something.
Put foam on the sides. I drove. Some of my buddies, I drove a car for Nichols a few years ago, and I had to stuff some stuff in the side. And you just kind of wiggle down in there, and it works. But I might get him out there for hot laps though, and see what he thinks. That's what it takes, to get the youngsters in there.
Yeah, it is. So.
Give them a try, and hopefully keep the sport growing and going. So. Yeah.
You've always been a bigger track guy. You like the big racetracks, and down here there's just not a lot left.
Yep.
And I know you're one of the guys that never wants to see this place change, because you're one of those guys that really, really is a strong half-mile racetrack guy. But like you said, this track is just as technical as any small racetrack. And the problem with these big tracks is, like you said, one slip up and you're losing half a straightaway of momentum. So it's just as tough, if not tougher. But you came down, middle of the season here, and you were kind of in the back, and I was wondering what you were doing. And I'm like, well, obviously it's first night out. He just wants to kind of check it out. But how hard was that for you, just to stay back like that?
I'm sure you saw how long that lasted in that first heat race. I stayed back there, and the car was fairly decent, and we wound up in the mix of it at the end. So after a couple laps, and it's tough to do that, but
you're competitive enough. You're like, I just want to get up there and race.
You try to just stay out of trouble at the beginning of the year. You get in a car, you haven't sat in a seat for almost 12 months, and if you're racing every night, it makes a big difference. And no matter how long you've raced, there's some guys here that have raced more than I've raced in the last 5 to 10 years already this year.
Yeah.
So it's just, you can't replace seat time. And no matter how much you've done it, no matter how many years you've done it, this is year 26 for me, which is crazy to think about. But, it doesn't matter how long you've done it. You still have to have that seat time. You still have to be comfortable. Your footwork has to get down. And it took me probably half that 3/4 of the feature last week just to get my feet comfortable.
Sure.
At that yellow, I felt fairly good. My feet were pretty good, but you have to be on it, right? You have to hit those spots. You got to get your rein dialed into the racetrack, and your comfort level just isn't there if you haven't been behind the wheel. So,
and you can really see the experience that you had, 20 some years of racing now, and on that restart, you guys were 3 wide on the backstretch on that restart, and a lot of guys would screw up there, but you've been there plenty of times. Just hold your line.
Yeah.
Make them move you out of the way if you need to, but you just held your line, and they didn't really have much for you. So that's sometimes just the way to go. And I'm not calling you old, because you're not old yet, but you're just you're just an older racer, and that's just what it takes sometimes. Yeah. I mean, you just know. I mean, the amount of laps that you've taken around this place. I mean, you know how it is, and it just went to show last week that a lot of younger guys probably would have screwed up on that restart trying to change lines or running some sort of slider line to protect the slider, and you just held your line and you did a great job. Were you surprised a little bit?
I had, when I started racing, I had a lot of veterans that taught me a lot of things. My dad helped Dwayne Arrett for many years, and he was one of the guys that would give me advice, and Ryan Blessington helped me quite a bit at the beginning, and there were a bunch of people that had helped me. Charlie Summers, obviously, my dad used to go to his shop. I was there all the time. So just some of those older veteran guys that have been racing a long time, that one of the things they told me was, on yellows, and even when you're in close racing, drive your line. Make somebody else pass you. And that's really what I try to do, and I've always done that. So any of the new guys, if you're swerving right and left, you're only going to get yourself in trouble. So just drive your race and hold your line, and hopefully
you're in the preferred line when you're
right. Typically, yeah. I mean, if you're in the front, you've got choice of where you want to go, and you've got enough laps. You should know that. Although, depending on what the track's like, sometimes you don't want to be that leader out there.
Absolutely, you're a sitting duck sometimes.
Right. But at the end of the day, the last couple laps, I knew that if they were going to pass me, they were going to do it on the top. So I don't know if you noticed, I moved down a little bit further than where I wanted to be the last lap and a half or 2 laps. I figured if they were going to pass me, they'd have to do it on the top. And I knew it was going to be harder to do that.
Right.
So.
Yep.
And we are at the top of the hour. You're do a little station identification here. You're listening to KCSI 95.3, KOAK 1080 AM out of Red Oak, Iowa. I do want to show you this really quick because I'm an insider with Dre, so I just wanted to show you that. That's pretty sweet. So did he show you that?
I haven't seen that. That's the first time I've seen that, but I did talk to him a little bit, so I knew something was probably coming.
Dre and I talk all the time. We went to school together, and he always shows me the new ideas that he has, and he's trying to get you on board with that. So maybe next year or something.
I told him to be creative, right? I mean, I said I'm pretty much an open slate, right? The older I get, the less I know it's going to look good because he does a great work, you know. So whatever happens there, I knew it would work out, but that looks pretty good.
Yeah, it's kind of similar to your old, but so. His idea is to get some sort of like carbon fiber stuff in there or something different. Yeah. So some flashy.
He knows I like that stuff.
Yeah, so. Absolutely. But it looks like you got a big old list there to thank.
Well, it's not that long. I can go fast, but
no, you're good. Oh well, you're fine. When Luke Ramsey comes up here, it's like a whole Word document that Sam types up, and I mean it's a lot. So
I've done this a few times, and I know if I don't bring a list, I forget somebody.
That's right.
So I try not to do that. Right. And there's a lot of people that help us get here, even though we aren't out a lot. They still enjoy it, and a lot of times they're here with us, and we've got quite a few with us tonight. So. Yeah, I mean, I want to thank, obviously, my wife for letting me do this first and foremost. She supported me through this at the beginning, and I was racing when we met each other, so I guess she kind of knew what she was getting into. Exactly. But that being said, she's still been supporting and letting me do it, and that's all that matters. So. Both my boys, Caden was here with us last week. Kevin was busy tonight. Kevin's with us, and Caden's busy. So usually one or both of them get here, and it's nice to have them involved, and they help me get the car ready today. And without them, it's hard to do. So my mom and dad, obviously, they're here every week pretty much. Anytime I'm racing, my dad's with me, and it's nice that we can still do this together, right? It's something we both enjoy, and we've always enjoyed it. I've gone to races with my dad since I was a little kid, and we've gone all over the country, right? I mean, we came here all the time when I was a kid.
Kind of like your thing, man.
Yeah. I mean, and we do literally go all over the country, so it's nice to do that. Larry and Sandy Peterson from Avoca, Larry's here with us tonight. They've helped us out for many years now, and appreciate that. Adam and Chris and Crone haven't made it this year, but I've only been a couple weeks, so I know they called me as soon as we won last week. So it'll be nice to get them back out here too. Yep. And their boys Parker and Blair. So, and then the sponsors. Cody and Cole Winther have done a lot for me over the last several years, and Cody's usually here with us.
Yep.
Unfortunately, he's had some health issues, and
he's been here a few times this year.
Yeah, he has been here a couple times this year, and. I want to send some prayers to him because he's recovering right now. Yep. So really looking forward to getting him back at the track. But Southwest Iowa Outfitters with those guys, and then PPI, Preferred Properties of Iowa, with your local agent Cole Winther. So really appreciate the help that they provide. And then Chrome Farms in Avoca, Adam and his family. And then Ag Business Crop Insurance, Brock Partlow out of Atlantic, does a lot for us as well. And then Dwayne Pelzer over at Dwayne's Repair. So he's helped us for many years. It's I haven't seen him for a while. We need to get him back.
He's a long-time racer.
Yeah, he is. Yes, he is. We need to get him back over here watching some races and helping too.
He probably didn't want to because he'll probably get the itch again.
Well, that's true. I think that's why he avoids it a little bit. But he still needs to come over and watch with us. So.
Yep, I agree.
J.D. Wyman Motorsports. Jim was here last week.
Yes,
he's built motors for me since we started, basically.
Got to talk to Jim pretty good after the race. So yeah, good deal.
Yeah, so he was pretty excited last week. It's nice to have him back around the track here as well. So, Performance Bodies, my buddy Brian Gerst up there, VP of Performance Bodies, does a lot to help us too. So, I want to say special thanks to Always Race Day for throwing up some extra money last week. It's nice.
I wish Chris could have been here, man. He's an awesome guy. So
it's great to see that, right? I mean, I did a little research this week and looked at some of the media stuff those guys are doing. So it's nice to have people promoting our sport like that and then supporting too.
He was one of the ones that started this show.
He wasn't one that started. He was on the show. I mean, he was but Alan DeBoltz who started the thing originally.
Chat Mobility,
so we would chat. But anyway, Chris Williams.
He's a big stock car fan.
Chris has got several podcasts, and I watch a lot of them. It's Iowa Everywhere. He's got two guys named Chris, and I've always been a Chris Hassel fan too. But they're all he does is there's a lot of fun involved. I mean, he does some, and he's
you got to make it fun.
Yeah, and he's really knowledgeable what he does. So
you wouldn't want to watch it if it's
I know
not
he
fun.
has been really hot and heavy this week with the football stuff because of the conference realignment. He's all over that stuff. I've been laughing at that. I know he's been busy with that. So
but it's great.
He's a huge race fan. His uncle and both of his dad and his uncles are huge race fans. One's a Hall of Famer now, and
Yeah.
But yeah, Chris really, he's always wanted to support us.
Yep.
So it was
Yep.
a great deal. So.
Also got to say thanks to the Hampel family. I mean, that was a great show last week. I know they help promote that, and you guys all do a great job of that. But, man, it's every year we come to that race, and
it's going to keep getting bigger and bigger.
It's great. It's great to see that. I got to say thanks to Jerry and the team at KCSI. You guys here doing the show.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff going on to promote racing in Southwest Iowa and in Iowa in general in the Midwest. So love seeing that. And I tell you what, I got out of that car last week, and I could hear the fans. And that was a massive crowd.
Yep.
And
it was over 2,000.
It was great to see that many people here. So
takes you back in time a little
always
bit.
good to race in front of a big crowd.
It is, and that's why we come down here. I mean, it's we've got other options to race at, but we choose to come down here because of the fans and the racers and just the camaraderie that comes with Adams County Speedway. So really appreciate that and everything you guys are doing.
You bet.
So.
Well, we really appreciate you. Like I said earlier when we were talking about the winners last week, I've always said you're a huge ambassador to this place, of racing in general and of our speedway. You've always been a great ambassador and help support us, and you've always talked well about us. So I always love to see you here. Good to see you win. I don't mean to rush you off, but
no,
I have a booth next door of 3 guys waiting.
I know a lot of people trying to get on here.
Everybody shut up and watch.
Well, Jason, last thing I'll say, you live closer to another racetrack, and we really appreciate you coming down here because, our stock car count isn't the greatest, but we always love more stock cars, and it's just our geographics just suck with stock cars, but we really appreciate you coming down here.
Great competition.
It is.
Yeah, there is. It's a good group of guys that race here, and again, that's why we come.
Yep.
So it's a lot of good support.
And every one of them are pushing that class to try to get more guys here.
Yep.
Too,
Yep.
So I mean, they are. So.
Yep.
Hey, awesome.
Take
Go
another
out
quick
there and
break.
back her up.
Yeah,
All right,
we'll try. Right. Thanks, guys.
All right, that race fans, that was Jason Rold, your Northland Stock Car winner from last week. We're going to take another really quick break and get our next guest right away. So we're right back with you. Once again to Aiken. Welcome back, race fans, to Pitside Live. Thank you very much to Aiken Building Centers right here in Corning, Iowa, as well as Clarinda, Atlantic, and Creston. We're diving right back into our next guest here. We have our current point leader, one-time or two-time winners this year. I can't remember. Adam, Mr. Hensel, what is it?
Two?
Technically two.
Technically. Oh, that was that one night. Yeah.
I didn't
two-time
really
winner. Two-time winner. Okay.
Hey, you'll take him when they can,
And
right?
the stats is a two-time winner. So yeah.
Well, Adam, I wanted to get you up here just to talk a little bit about points. I know drivers don't like to talk about points, but we're getting down to it right now. And did you see yourself in this position at this time of year?
No.
I didn't think you would either because, you know how hard it is to be a guy like Luke Ramsey and guys like that. But it just goes to show the experience that you have, not only around here, but you're just so comfortable in the banana boat.
It's been around long enough. I better be used
I've been
to
calling it the banana boat. And I love, is it your My Race Pass profile picture?
Yeah.
It's a banana.
Is it?
It's like an angry banana.
I didn't see that.
Are you just taking that into, you're just kind of...
It is what it is.
There you go. We got it. The banana machine.
I like the My Little Pony better. Wasn't that what I was
I like that car better, but...
The old stock car. So, well, Adam, it's we only have 4 nights left, and I'm sure the mindset has changed a little bit. Is it? Do you kind of play it a little bit more defensive, or do you just race the way you normally race?
I'm just going to race the way I normally race, and hopefully I can get some more wins. That's a lot funner.
Right.
The chips fall where they may.
That's right.
I've never ran for points anywhere in the 15 years I've been racing, so I didn't even really think about it until about halfway through the year.
Right.
And you've been...
That's what it is for a lot of drivers. That's what they usually think. So, it's just...
And that's the way it was for past champions as well. I mean, probably clear back in the day when we used to have C features, I'm sure it was like that for some guys.
Oh, yeah.
But the key thing, like is good finishes.
Yep.
And you're kind of one of the closers, I feel like, in the hobby stocks. You and Sean Kralik are kind of the same. Kralik's like that in the B mods, where you're just kind of biding your time, and you're just always there at the end. You do a really good job of staying out of trouble.
That's what I shoot for every night. I'm getting old, and I don't like fixing stuff anymore.
So, 4 nights left. Obviously, the goal is to get some more wins, but I'm sure a track championship would mean a lot.
I wouldn't complain about it, no.
I mean, you would be on that list of drivers that have been track champions here. That it's a very slim list of drivers, and every single driver is fantastic. So I would be super happy for you to be our champion, but I know the goal is to get wins. But I just want to come up here and pick your brain a little bit to see if the mindset has changed. But I know you are just one of the guys that are making the class really, really good this year. I don't know how you feel, but our hobby stock races have been unreal.
It's just another day to me.
Yeah. I mean, from a driver's standpoint, do you feel like the races this year for our hobby stocks have just been – they've been wild, haven't they?
Everybody has stepped their game up. Everybody is way faster. I mean, for the most part, it's been a pretty clean season.
Yeah. And obviously Luke's been king of the class for a long time, and he's been struggling to get top 5. So like you just said, everybody's stepping up their game.
I don't ever count him out.
No, absolutely
right.
not.
You take a look at the scoreboard and you're in the lead, and you see 17 coming up, and you're probably like, oh boy, here we go. But still driving the same car. It's a home built race car, right?
Yep.
Where did you buy that from?
A kid that actually used to be in our shop bought it years back to get into racing. It came from over in eastern Iowa somewhere, and we actually ran it as an enduro car for several years.
Whatever it is, whoever built that car did an outstanding job, because it is a fast machine.
Yeah.
And if you sell that car, you're probably going to be heartbroken.
It'll probably just sit in the shed for a while.
Yeah.
That car is and that's just the way it is sometimes. You just come across a piece that's just it fits your driving style, it fits you, and I'm sure you're just really comfortable in it, aren't you?
Yeah. Well, when I'm the only one that works on it, we've had it for this long, you know all the ins and outs and what to look for. And
I'll tell you what, not rushing you through, but I want to give you a chance to thank your, family, friends, people who help you, your sponsors, and like I said, we got guys lined up back there now, but I want to give you a chance to give a shout out. We wanted to get you up here and talk to you about points a little bit, because it's that time of year, but give you a shout out to everybody you can. So
yeah, I got to thank Middle of Nowhere Bar and Cafe in Cumberland. Checked at Crane Training. They came on with us this year and really helped us out, along with Ryan Archibald Construction. I got Kyle Fredrickson that's here with me every weekend with Fredrickson Iron Recycling in Atlantic, Atlantic Tire and Wheel, Gold Fuss Racing. They've helped me out a lot in the last couple of years. SRG Transmissions, they really helped me, and I'm sure I'm going to miss some, but there's a lot of stickers on that car.
Yeah, and you got family and friends too, and I know your wife. Now that I'm retired, I don't get to see any messages anymore. So, but that's the thing, I miss that stuff. So, but yeah, it's like you said, family, friends is a big part of this whole shebang, I always say. So, and you can't do it without sponsors either. So
nope,
it's good to get a big selection of them.
It's definitely a family deal. Her and the kid are with me every weekend, everywhere we go. So the kid will probably be more mad if I sell it than anybody else.
and that's kind of a thing that I see all the time is the driver's like, should I sell or not? But it's the kid that keeps you going.
Yeah,
because
that's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, and you see that in a lot of drivers.
Well, here's something that I had another retired worker. Unfortunately, she's passed away, but she was a worker for a long time. Her husband raced for a long time, and I've heard this from other families too. They say the same thing. This is a family sport because it's one thing you all can come and do as a family.
Yep.
And do together.
That's why they like doing it, because it's something they can do together.
And it gives you something to do every weekend.
Yeah, well, that's the biggest deal is we've been doing it for so long, we don't know what else to do half the time.
And that's what I'm like. Yeah. I feel off when I'm not at the racetrack on Saturday night. I'm like, what am I doing?
Yeah, you have a rain out. I'm like, okay, what am I supposed to do?
Yeah, what am I supposed to do? Do I go to the bar? Do I?
But I tell you what, Adam, congratulations where you're at. Hope nothing for the best, and would be great to see you get that thing.
You're officially the banana boat.
Just go out there and keep knocking them off.
Banana hammock, right, Cole?
Yeah.
Banana machine.
Hammock? Okay, I don't know about that.
Banana whatever.
No. But, congratulations where you're at. Just keep knocking them off out there. Like they say, let the chips fall where they may.
That's the plan. That's right. Day by day, weekend by weekend.
Good luck.
You betcha.
Guys.
4 to go.
Adam Hensel, our current point leader in our Chapel Ability Hobby Stocks. We're going to take a really quick break again and get our next guest on right away.
Too busy at work to wait in a long line at Subway? Order online at order.subway.com. Simply register with your email and password and order away. You can also download the Subway app on your smartphone. Order up to
Welcome back, race fans, to Pitside Live here at Adams County Speedway in Corning. That was a really quick break, but got a couple more drivers that we need to talk to here. We only got about 15 minutes to do it. So, guy to my right, he picked up his second career compact win. It is the 28 car. He's out of Gravity, Iowa. It's Mr. Andrew Akers. And Andrew, it's kind of a tale of two features. Both wins that you've had so far, it's kind of the same story. You get out front, and you hold your line.
Yep, just opposite lines from one to the other.
Yeah, I mean, you've really been figuring it out, and we talked about it earlier in the show about how much our compact class this year, there's so many drivers that have really stepped it up a little bit this year, and compacts don't race anywhere like they do down here. You go to small racetracks, and all you're doing is hugging the tires, and you're down here, and you guys look like real race cars out there, real-wheel drive race cars, and you're really starting to figure it out, man.
Yeah, I don't know if I can make it through next year with that car, but
is she on her last leg or what?
Plan is to hopefully build a new one over the winter, and if that one's still alive, just keep it around.
Now, but what happens if the new one's not as fast?
Nah. It's a compact. Come on, man. So, you just pull another Cavalier out of the field and just put her together, right?
Yeah.
That's kind of what they do, don't they?
Well, I'll have to find one. But
Yeah, they're out there, though.
Yeah.
I mean, they're getting harder, but yeah, it's like most of the whole stuff. So, but tell you what, you've had a great year this year so far, and it's got to be fun.
Yeah, I've had some ups and some downs, and the car's still from the last wreck I got in is still not right, but it's as good as it can be. We couldn't pull it out anymore. Scotty was scared to pull it in half.
Well, he told me in the interview last week, he said, you didn't think you were fast.
No, I felt slow.
And honestly, sometimes that's just the best. I mean, were you just waiting for somebody to come, and they just never did?
I was waiting for a nose, but once we all kind of got settled in from watching videos of it, it pretty much never saw anybody, and I kept waiting. I kept waiting for him to blow by me on the high side. I'm like,
it was your race to lose. You were the fastest car by far. We were looking at lap times, and nobody really. If it would have been a 30-lap feature, I don't think anything would have changed. I mean, you've done a really good job this year of learning how to hold your line, learning how when you do get up front, consistent laps. You've got to be one of the most consistent lap time drivers that we have now, and that's really important from a compact standpoint to just keep that momentum up, right?
Yep.
And who's been helping you this year? That's maybe some of the differences. I know the Ramsey crew down there helps you a lot, but what's some of the differences this year that's made you so fast?
I honestly couldn't tell you. Some of it's just been I've just kind of said the heck with it and just started driving the car. What I was feeling at first was way too hard, but it just kept sticking and sticking. I'm like, well, I'll just keep driving it harder. And then cracked off the first win. I'm like, all right, I've got something figured out here. I really haven't changed a whole lot to it. And I put a couple struts in it when we went on that Midwest Madness tour because the ones I had were just junk. But so I'm not dragging the old pan anymore.
Right. That's good.
The old struts. Yeah, that's probably a good thing. But
I'll tell you what, not to rush you here, but I see you have a list there. I want you to make sure you can get through it here too. So,
who do you want to thank really quick?
I'll start off the sticker I just put on. Supposed to have everybody follow In Kaylin's Chair on Instagram.
In Kaylin's Chair, okay.
My sister's, she does a bunch of hair cutting, salon work.
Okay, cool.
We've got Llama Mama, which is my mom, does all the vinyl work. She also builds.
That's a cool name, Llama Mama.
Little kids' chairs.
Oh, cool.
Baby clothes, all kinds of stuff.
Cool.
My brother at Acres Resin Creations does like keychains, necklaces. Okay. He gets me my cucumber lime Gatorade.
There you go.
You bet. Supply of that. Ramsey Grinding, Ford Services, Repair, the whole. I've been calling it Ramsey Enterprise. B&L Snow Removal, the Goodson family, Dally Post Saloon, I'd like to give a shout out for a possible sponsor if it makes far enough to Rock Auto. That's
There you
where
go.
I buy all my
There you
stuff
go.
from.
There you go.
All the parts your car will ever need, Rock Auto.
Yeah. And then LS Performance and Race Cars for using the frame machine a couple weeks ago and taking over the shop. And I've also, trailer in Poland's actually Scotty's trailer, which we
Okay.
keep fuel on it. But
Yeah.
then my wife, Midori, my son Asher, who's probably my biggest fan. Mom said they couldn't hear anything. He was screaming so loud last week.
That's what keeps you going, though. So,
Yep. My mom and dad, my brother Keaton, my grandpa, the whole Ramsey Racing Village, which
Yeah.
I think
there's a lot of you down there.
There's a nice village down there.
The extra ones are here tonight, too.
Yeah,
So,
yep.
yeah, everybody's here tonight.
Got a big plan down there.
My brother-in-law Andrew and Uncle Clinton, they're the ones that found me the motor that I'm running. Well, both of them, but and then Scotty and Dee Dee for letting me take over the shop, which I've still got 2.5 motors I think up there. Just keep getting shuffled
That's
around.
good. That's good. So, all
well,
right. Hey,
well, Andrew, it's you're getting better, and like you said, the first one's always the hardest, and now it's just getting easier, I think. And
keep knocking them off.
Yep, just staying out front, and we wish you good luck tonight. We've only got 4 to go, and let's see if you can go get another one tonight, huh?
Yep.
All right. That's Andrew Akers. Our
good luck tonight.
That is our Floating Vine Compact winner from last week. We're going to take one more quick break and get our last guest on here to finish up the show.
Welcome back, race fans, to Pitside live here at KCSI 95.3 and on the YouTube channel, as well as KOA K1080 AM. We are coming down to the checkered flag here of our show, and we're here with last week's Underdog 22 champion and your point leader. It's Mr. Chubbs, Jesse Dennis, and I was looking through this. Dre sent me a picture of the trophy. That is sweet.
Yeah, that is pretty cool. I haven't seen that
You
yet.
haven't seen it, so you can see it. So you'll get it. So it's got the results on it. It's got the heat race winner, and then he made a little write up for you. So that's what the back of it looks like. So you wanted that one bad, didn't you?
Yeah, I thought it would be pretty cool to have that.
I know when Crampy came out with the trophies last year, they were such a cool trophy, and I know when Ryan Jenkins beat you last year, I know it was kind of just like you were pretty PO'd about that. You're like, I got to get this one, and anytime you've won so many here, but anytime you can get something extra,
Yeah.
that's got to be a little bit extra for sure.
Yeah, to win a big race like that, pretty important during the year. So.
And not only that, but it's Dre's wrapping your car now, and even Frank said last week, Frank's like, maybe we should do a wrap next year, and Frank's always the one that never wants that, right?
Yep, we're going to probably do a wrap next year and have them do something. So.
Absolutely.
Cool.
But, okay, take me through, what was it, last 5 laps, right, Cole?
It was like 2 to go.
You were out in front by a ways. I don't know if you saw the video. And then right rear tire probably started to fall off just a little bit.
You know, I was kind of starting to get like a little throttle tight down in the corner, and especially on the last lap when Ryan showed his nose, I definitely got throttle tight, and we went down the backstretch. My corners were way better on 3 and 4 than they were in 1 and 2, but he was right there, and I know he wanted it bad. I've taken races away from him just like that too, so I know he wanted to take that one away from me. So
Absolutely. And it just goes to show, the whole week, Chubbs, you were talking, you were like, I got to beat Jenkins and Hopshite. And Jacob had bad luck, obviously had ignition issues, but those two, when they come down here, it's got to give you a little bit extra motivation when guys come down to try to beat you.
yeah, Jacob, he's really fast. I think what did he get 4th last night?
Yeah. I
It's
believe
unfortunate
so.
that they had bad luck here. So would have liked to see him race. And Jenkins, you just never know. He's always quick and where he goes. So.
Well, it's getting that time of the year again. I know points really aren't in the back of your mind. You've just been doing it for so long, it doesn't really matter. But you are the guy to beat every single week. I know you're really happy with the piece you have under you. I know Kelly built you a really good piece. I know you were kind of going back and forth about what car to get and what chassis to go with, but it's got to feel good. You guys made the right decision.
Yeah, car's been great. Kelly's been helping us out a lot and getting us on track, and we've been going back and forth with Cooper, and he throws ideas at it, and I throw out mine, and vice versa. So,
and you always talk about modifieds, and it's just like we really enjoy the modified class that we have here because it's usually always a race, but for some reason you seem to be the only guy that can consistently run the top, and you're always saying,
yeah, I mean. We talk about sometimes that you make the track look like it's top dominant, but in reality, it's just the fact that you can run it so well. I mean, I don't know. On those last few laps, how do you keep your composure? Because, I mean, you're running a razor's edge up on that cushion. I mean, it's...
I don't know. I don't know if it's just because I've done it long enough. And
you just know it?
I've been up there quite a bit. I know they've done something to it here the last few weeks. It just hasn't been as good. It kind of... dirty or something up there, but after that late model race, it took a little bit to get cleaned off, and once it got cleaned off, it kind of took off. So,
but this car this year, you've ran the bottom more this year than I think you ever have, and I feel like a lot of these skyrockets that I watch around the area, especially up in northern Iowa, Kelly does a really good job of building the piece that stays very low to the ground, and the car rotates very well. Like you said. At the beginning of the year, it's crazy how much right rear cambers on those things. Do you feel like it's just night and day difference from your old car?
Oh yeah, it don't dig in as much as the old one. I don't know why, and it just has that right rear feel right to it. So
well, I remember at the beginning of the year, you were talking about you were going to run this car only in Corning, and then you were going to run the other one's got to have dust on it by now.
Yeah, we've been robbing a lot of parts off of it here lately. So somebody's got the hubs.
I know you were talking about running an open motor with it, and then that kind of went to the wayside because I think you figured out how good this car actually is. So
we're still planning on maybe we're going to get a USRA motor. I thought we were going to have it this year, but you must not. We're not going to get it done this year. I got my IMCA open motor. We might put it in it, but I doubt if we run it much. It might come down here towards the end of the year.
You're just scared.
And maybe see if somebody's going to drive it. So
he's scared.
Well, I tell you what, you talk about that. We're coming up on the end of the year. Is there any big shows that you're eyeing up? Or?
Oh, I was thinking maybe Boone. Thought about Boone, but I'm not 100% sure.
Did that just come out of your mouth?
Yeah.
When's the last time you were up there?
Probably 2009.
I know it's been a long time, and I know you said you would, and I know you said you would never. But I think this car is giving you a little bit of an itch, a little bit, because it's really competitive.
And then I-80, shuts down, so I don't know what to do, on them fall specials, because they always had a couple good fall specials. So.
Well, I know World Nationals in Marshalltown, possibility. I know you really like racing up there. I love seeing you at Marshalltown because it's such a good racetrack, and you've always ran really well up there. But I know anywhere that you like to go, I try to go and watch you and things like that because I always try to support my local guys. But no, I just really think this year you've been more competitive at other racetracks with that car.
It has been very good, very competitive with other tracks where I've usually struggled. So
well, thanks some people really quick because we got 1 minute left until we got to get rolling. So
Frank's Body Shop, Peterson Tire, RNS Auto, Corning Pub, Fairley Farms, and Steve's Yard Care.
There you go. Well, race fans, this is the driver of the 70 car. You've probably seen him before around here a time or two. I got to ask Dre how many wins you have now. I think it's somewhere in the mid-70s now, I think. 75,
I wanted
76.
I wanted to ask what his record is in one season.
Yeah, that's Dre probably knows it, but maybe in the future, man, you'll be the all-time leader. I know you get it's Chris Speaker. I think he's at 101. So you're on track for it. Just got to keep going. So, You got 4 left this year here for regulars, and then sounds like you're going to be doing some specials. Well, we wish you luck, and you'll get another one tonight.
All right, thanks.
All right, race fans, I was the driver of the 70 car, Jesse Dennis. We're coming down to the checkered flag here. Cole, you got any final comments before we get out of here?
Yeah, you know, before I got back on here, I was checking. We have 74 cars checked in. We have some new new B mods. I think I saw 2 new B mods down there, some new compacts. So should be a pretty good night of racing. I think we had 10 stock cars as well. So you know, obviously our stock car count is a little bit lower, but if we can be over 10, I think that's kind of a goal of ours to have that. And
I see Jeff James is back.
Yep.
Rodney Stopak's here. He's another modified driver out of Omaha. I know he races Eagle, so good to have him over here as well. So it's always good to have new guys, and they got to beat this guy over here. But well, race fans, we're down here to the checkered flag. If you are listening, we thank and appreciate you for listening with us. We're going to go racing here. We got 2 King of the Hills tonight. Don't forget that as well. You got a King of the Hill tonight too. And we're going to get 8 50-50 ticket winners. We're going to get them paired up with a driver. And hopefully they can win you some money tonight. But head on over to the track, and we'll see you here. You have been listening to Pitside Live, and we'll see you next week.
Jesus Christ. That speed on that mouse.